Thank you. I'm teacher Junn Arnie Mercado from Talaw Elementary School with the study Cooperative Cognitive Mapping in Enhancing the K-Stage 2 Learners' Science Achievement. This study aimed to determine using cooperative cognitive mapping in enhancing student academic achievement in Science 6. It attempted to determine the mean profile of diagnostic test result, first and second grading period grades of grade 6 pupils, and find out if there is a significant difference in the pretest and post-test score of two groups of respondents. As science is one of the core subjects in elementary level that needs reconstruction to develop well-rounded learners, since science education wants to develop scientific literacy, critical thinking, and 21st century skill to learners that will be a great treasure to the country someday and help it to make a decision regarding application of knowledge in social health and environmental issues. As this need arises, teacher in the public school must present the lesson in creative, entertaining, and interactive way. As press underscored, learning is about reinforcing the mind to be active and engaged in processing new information. So the arise of cooperative cognitive mapping in teaching science is the method that teachers should use to help the pupil process ideas, generate solution, and lessen memorization of facts. Because it focuses on the holistic performance of learners' mental capacity. And with the active and deepened understanding of the lesson, it helps the learners develop science processes to create possible outcomes that will help them to achieve more. If this method works very well, it may help pupils in organizing and summarizing a concept to deepen the knowledge and uplift their creativity, higher order thinking skills, and inquiry in learning the lesson, as well as teachers to enhance their ways of delivery of the lesson. This study aimed at determining the application of cooperative cognitive mapping in enhancing the students' academic achievement in key stage 2 learners. Especially, it attempted to achieve the following. 1. Determine the mean performance of two groups of respondents in Science 6 in terms of diagnostic test result and grades in the first and the second grading period. Develop lesson plans incorporating cooperative cognitive mapping in Science 6. Find out if there is any significant difference between the pre-test and the post-test score of controlled and experimental group after using cooperative cognitive mapping in science. Determine the acceptability level of cooperative cognitive mapping lesson in Science 6 in enhancing their academic achievement in terms of content, appropriateness, usefulness, and appeal to the target users. As this study utilizes experimental method of research following the match-paired design, there were two groups. First was the control group exposed to the traditional approach of teaching science, while the second was the experimental group where lessons incorporating cooperative cognitive mappings were applied. The pretest and the post-test control group design was applied to determine if lessons incorporating cooperative cognitive mapping could be enhanced academic achievement in Science 6. The respondents were two groups that were carefully chosen from the two heterogeneous sections of grade 6 in Talaw Elementary School. After the experimentation, both groups had given post-test. Table 1 shows mean profile of grade 6 pupil in terms of diagnostic test result and average grades of the two groups of respondents. This also shows that there is no significant difference between the two groups of respondents and they are fit for the experiment. Table 2 shows summary of values for testing significant difference between the pre-test and the post-test scores of the controlled and experimental group. This only shows that there is no significant difference in the achievement of the controlled group, while there is a significant value difference from the experimental group. On this table shows the acceptability level of cooperative cognitive mapping lessons in Science 6 in terms of content. The average weighted mean of the cooperative cognitive mapping lesson was 3.64, with a descriptive rating of highly acceptable. It only means that the content of the materials helps the pupils to enhance their achievement to the lessons, and the teaching learning process is suitable to the needs of the pupils. Table 4 presents the responses made by respondents for the acceptability level of cooperative cognitive mapping lessons in enhancing academic achievement in terms of appropriateness. Having 3.55 average weighted mean of cooperative cognitive mapping lessons under the criterion of appropriateness with a descriptive rating of highly acceptable. While on this table, based on the acceptability level of cooperative cognitive mapping lessons in Science 6 in terms of usefulness, with the result gathered and having an average weighted mean of 3.62 and a descriptive rating of highly acceptable, it only points out that the lessons demonstrates as useful materials in providing mastery of the lesson. Table 6 summarizes the responses from the evaluators as regards to the acceptability level of cooperative cognitive mapping lesson in Science 6 in enhancing the academic achievement in terms of appeal to the target users, with the result obtained and having an average of 3.63 and a descriptive rating of highly acceptable. It only points out that the collaborative mind mapping lesson get the attention of the user and serve to be the new way of summarizing the lesson. Based on the findings, the following conclusions were drawn. 1. The two groups of respondents are homogeneous and fit for the experiment. 2. Cooperative cognitive mapping lessons are valid materials that helps the pupils to enhance their academic achievement. 3. There is a significant difference on the academic achievement on the grade 6 pupils who are subjected to cooperative cognitive mapping rather than to the pupils who engage in the use of traditional method of teaching. 4. The cooperative cognitive mapping lessons is potentially effective and commendable to use based on the content, appropriateness, usefulness, and appeal to the target users. The teacher would engage productive time using the lessons, and pupils may enhance their creative mind, critical thinking, and advanced knowledge in science. Based on the conclusions made, the following recommendations were offered. Science teachers should try to integrate cooperative cognitive mapping in their lessons to enhance the academic achievement of their pupils. Cooperative cognitive mapping lessons can also be developed in other disciplines such as English, Filipino, Math, Araling Panlipunan, among others, to facilitate meaningful learning and develop holistic pupils. Future researchers may improve the cooperative cognitive mapping lessons that will venture towards pupil critical thinking skills and constructivist approach. On this point, the researcher would like to share the crafted lesson plan to Science 6 teachers for utilization and enhancement, as well as to present this research result to other grade level and subject area. Thank you!